Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Devon. It's New Touch Auto Dipping. Now, we're going to get into the top 10 questions asked when dipping a full body vehicle. You want to know those answers? Y'all stay tuned. Before we get into the video, first thing first, you got to make sure that your vehicle is properly clean. You cannot have a successful finish if you don't properly clean your vehicle. You only set yourself up for disaster in the end, because none of it will act right. Trust me. All right, let's get into our first question. How much material will I need? Now, that's going to vary. You're either going to have a car, a truck, or a motorcycle. Now, your material is going to vary when it comes down to Plasti Dip and Proline paint. Now, with Plasti Dip, you can go to dippingcar.com and you can set up whatever you're trying to paint, and they'll calculate how many gallons, how much product. They'll give you your prep work. They'll give you everything that you need to complete a successful project. Now, Proline is different. You need to be a little bit more on the professional side to understand how much product you'll need with Proline. So I'll advise you, if you're on the side of a beginner's level, stick with that. Build yourself up. Then you'll be able to learn and calculate how much product you need on the Proline side. Now, it'll vary on Plasti Dip side with material. If you're trying to go with something, say a matte finish, that's less material you'll need. Satin finish, you'll need more material and you'll need a different product in the same area. Pearls and gloss, you'll also need a different product versus the base coats and whatever you're trying to lay down. Can I use my garage or can I do it outside? I'm gonna be straight up with you. Now, painting outside, that's a challenge itself because you got so much you gotta look out for versus a garage or a paint booth. Paint booth, you're gonna get your top. You're gonna get the top performance of making sure nothing comes interfering with your paint. Now, with the garage and outside, you gotta worry about the dust, the debris. You gotta worry about bugs. Now, you also gotta worry about the other biggest challenge, the weather. I'm gonna tell you like this. Do not paint when it's extremely hot, let's say 85 and up, when it's raining, when it just got done raining, or if it's too cold. Or also, don't forget the wind. If it's too windy, I wouldn't try it. Will dust and debris interfere? That's another challenge. You're gonna have bugs in the air, you're gonna have dust in the air. Now, if you're inside a garage now, I advise you to drape off anything that's in there that you don't want that paint to come in contact with. You're gonna have overspray everywhere. So you wanna make sure you protect everything on the outside. If you can pull some things out, take it out. Give yourself room to get around that vehicle so you can paint it right. When you're outside, you don't have anything you gotta cover. You're just out there just spraying. You can imagine the thing that's gonna be in the air. So I advise you to go to a clear area to where there's less traffic and less wind currents coming in. Now, dipping out of your garage with debris and dust and all that, I've done it. I've been dipping for a long time. And now, I finally made it to a shop, so I'm here now. So you can do it. What PPE should I use? That's personal protection equipment. Now, when it comes to that, listen, man, I can't stress this enough. And most professional painters can't either. Wear a respirator mask. You don't want that paint and all those products getting into your system. Because when you're painting, that's all you're gonna breathe. All that overspray, you're gonna breathe it in. So trust me, wear a respirator mask. And I ain't talking about a mask that you go out in because of COVID-19. None of those masks will work. Wear the proper mask. Now, when you're dealing with the gloss or anything to that nature, you want to put on a suit. and you want to wear a full respirator mask. That product is a little more deadly than those base coats. So wear the proper equipment when it comes to spraying. Some people use gloves because they tend to spill stuff here and there, or they don't want to touch things. They use gloves when they're spraying. If you want to wear a paint suit, you can wear a suit also. Wear the proper shoes. Not be out there trying to paint in sandals or house shoes or slides. Keep your floor clear and make sure you get everything properly on your body as far as your system goes. Should I close or leave my garage door open? Now, that's a no-brainer. Do not close that garage. You would die in there. You don't want to get killed by those fumes. That's just like leaving your car running and you got the garage door closed and all those fumes is just building up. You don't want that. Plus, when you're spraying, you're going to have overspray everywhere, so you won't be able to see. Also, you don't want to close it halfway on a windy day, or you probably don't even want to close it at all, because you're going to have a different wind current coming in. That wind current can change the way that material acts as you lay it on your panels. That wind can dry certain areas before it needs to dry, and the other areas will still be wet, and you don't want that blemish. There's ways to correct it, but you got to know what you're doing. So leave it open. Can I prep one day and spray the next? You can do that. I don't like to do it too much depending on what I'm doing. But a lot of times I have prep and then spray the next. The only thing about when you prep something the day before, you can't just go in there expecting that stuff to stick if you don't have the proper tape. Now, before you start painting the next day after you prep, go around that entire vehicle, press down on that tape. Make sure everything is, nice and intact. That's the key to it. Now, to have a successful finish, you can do it. And what steps should I spray? Now, when it comes to the steps, it all depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to get a matte finish, prep that vehicle first. Make sure it's clean. Then you prepare it with the masking. Then you come along with your base coat first. Your base coat is what's gonna matter. You might not see that color at the finish, but that color that you go with your base, that's the most important part of the process also. Now, when you're coming along with, say you wanna go for a satin finish, you're gonna add more product. With Plasti Dip, you're gonna add the dip pearl top coat for a satin finish. You wanna go pearls, you're gonna mix your pearls into that dip pearl top coat, and you're gonna spray that onto the vehicle, and that could be your finish. Now, if you wanna decide to use the gloss, that's a separate product. You don't mix anything with that. That's like a third stage where you will come over. And once you're done with everything, you will come over with your gloss finish, and then you will top it off. Now, Proline doesn't have gloss finishes. They have multiple finishes, I'm gonna say that. If you're interested in that, check out the website. When do I remove the masking? Now, when it comes down to that, whether you're using Proline or Plasti Dip, you want to remove the masking on certain areas that are bonded to the panels that you're painting. Some areas aren't always bonded. You can take that off and you'll have a nice, smooth crease that's gonna cut that area. Now, if it's bonding, you want to remove that masking while the paint is wet. So as soon as you're done with your last coat, just go ahead and go around it and peel away everything that's bonded. Therefore, you won't have any issues with removing your masking. What's the cleaning process and how do I maintain my dip? Now, when it comes to maintenance, now you can go to dipyourcar.com. They have aftercare products that's gonna help you clean it. Now, when it comes down to the longevity side, you wanna go ahead and purchase you some Dip Coat Protectant Spray. Now, that spray acts as your wax once you're done washing your vehicle. That spray has a lot of benefits, and it's what's gonna help your vehicle or your paint last all the way up into the 3 to 4 year mark. So you can actually get those years out of this product. Now the biggest question everybody wants to know when it comes down to removable paint: will it hold up to car washes? Now I've been dipping for years, and I noticed the difference of when it doesn't hold up and when it will. In the beginning, I've had my picks and chooses to where I didn't apply something correctly or I missed a step, and it showed the effect either peeled off or it didn't adhere properly to the vehicle. Now when it's applied correctly, you won't have any issues down the line. Whether it's hand washing, pressure, or drive-through car washing. No issues. Now, if you have any issues, you might want to question the installer because your prep work is your main thing you want to make sure you do before you paint that vehicle to avoid any issues. If you subscribe, I'm so thankful for you all. Now, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that link below. Simple click. If you enjoyed this video and you got more comments, maybe I missed something, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Confidence. That's the only way you're going to be able to have successful projects, y'all. 2 rules. Follow instructions. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. I'll see y'all on the next video.